Unlimited. Today, we're going to be reviewing the B2 tank. Now, some of you guys might be curious at what this little gadget is, and what it's called is it's a mole catcher. In fact, the B2 tank is the first American-made mole catcher. Now, what is a mole catcher is a really good question, isn't it? A mole catcher is a term for molasses catcher. Okay, and what it does is it catches the juice or the molasses, honey, syrup, whatever you call it, inside the tobacco, as instead of it dripping down into your hookah, making it more cumbersome to clean. Now, I first heard about mole catchers from my German followers and friends, and it was apparent why they had to invent something like a mole catcher that catches the juice running into your hookah. The reason is because majority of German smokers still use a Turkish bowl. We saw what a Turkish bowl is in last week's episode of the bowl material types. You could watch that here. I next heard about mole catchers becoming more popular and ever more so in Russia. And in Russia, the most popular bowl shape to use is an Egyptian bowl, or as they like to call it, a classic bowl. So you guys are starting to see a common denominator here. Bowls where the holes are at the bottom causes the juice to boil over, liquefy, and fall through the holes at the bottom because that's how gravity works. It makes hookah a little bit more irksome and cumbersome to clean up, and you have juices running everywhere, and nobody wants to deal with that. So what they came up with as a solution is simply to create a unit like this, where it has a tank in the inside that captures the juice instead of letting it fall all the way through. Now, we in America prefer to just use funnel bowls, and that's also a solution. Probably a cheaper one too. Now, the B2 tank is a very unique one. As I said earlier, it is the first and only American-made, 100% US made. It's actually made right here in Los Angeles, California, by B2 Hookah. You guys might have heard of them. They make some amazing hookahs called the B2 Hookah and the B2 F22 and the B2 Inox and the B2 Reaper. Now, they are a small batch and a boutique hookah company. Everything is done by hand and in-house. And they've come up with the B2 tank. The B2 tank comes apart in three different pieces total. You have the top casing that slides over the internal assembly over here. It has a little bit, has a small little cap that screws onto the internal CNC machine piece over here, and that's basically all it is. And as you can tell by how I just took everything apart, how it works is as you draw smoke from the top of the bowl port and juices, slide in and slip in, it will divert the flow of the juices away from the bowl port itself, causing it to drip down to the sides of it, and ultimately capturing it in the inside tank over here, where after you're done with your session, you could just grab this piece, rinse it out, instead of having to clean up your entire hookah over and over again. It's a really cool gadget, isn't it? And I personally like the concept of it, although I have to be honest with you guys, there's no absolute purpose for it in terms of performance. It's not gonna make your hookah hit better. It doesn't do anything magical regarding your session quality, longevity, cloud output, flavor intensity. It affects nothing at all. It just captures the juices. All right, to put together your B2 tank, or really any mole catcher, because they all come kind of standard in terms of how they're put together and how you use them, go ahead and grab your B2 tank and put it over the hose port with a grommet on top of your hookah. For demonstration purposes, I'm using the Zara Genie Mini. And go ahead and put a second grommet. You're gonna need 2 grommets over the bowl port of the B2 tank. Go ahead and put your Egyptian bowl or classic bowl over your B2 tank, and voila, it's set up ready for you to go. And that's about it. We're gonna take a couple of puffs in just a moment. Once you have it set up, all you gotta do is go ahead and start smoking. And as you can tell, I have the Egyptian bowl on top. I'm using a Provost with 2 cubes. I have vintage and overdose inside the bowl. And so far I've been smoking it, and if you pay attention, there's not a single leaf, there's not a single drop of molasses in the water. The water's crystal clear, and that's exactly what a molasses catcher or a mole catcher does for you. The B2 tank is doing a really good job with that. Let me take a couple of puffs for you just so you could see exactly how it's doing. Now, when you're actually using it, you will notice an increased amount of restriction on your hookah. All the mole catchers that I've come across so far, no matter the brand, have all restricted the draw a considerable amount. There are some people in the online communities that claim they do not, but that has not been my experience, guys. There's been a noticeable increase in the restriction in the draw. The Zara Genie, for example, is a relatively open draw pipe, and with the V2 tank on there, I'm noticing an increased restriction. Not to say it's not good, it's not in a bad way by all means. I just want you guys to know exactly what to expect when you're using one of these guys. Now, most mole catchers on the market range from anywhere between about $40 to 80 some odd, maybe 90 or so, depending on what quality it is, where it's coming from, what brand it is. But the B2 tank is going to be retailing at $79.99 or $80. And what you get is a fully aerospace grade, fully anodized aluminum, which you saw earlier that it was actually a really nice finish. B2 is doing a really great job stepping up their anodization game. I commend them for that. And all in all, that's about it, guys. As far as the rating goes, I'm not going to give a number rating for an accessory like a mole catcher. I gave you guys all the information you need to know. It comes apart in 3 different pieces, as you just saw, and it's pretty straightforward. It just kind of sits in between the hose port and your bowl to make sure it captures all the molasses and tobacco leaves that may be falling through your classic bowl. Alright guys, with that I bid you adieu. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, if you learned something today, if I benefited you in any way, please throw a subscribe. Go ahead and follow us at Instagram at Hookah_Unlimited, and follow and become a member of the Hookah Unlimited Facebook group. And that's about it, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Pause it.